was built in 1849. All the bricks are, handmade, wood fired. A lot of the furniture is from the home and the family, and then they brought a few pieces in to complete it. The Battle of Carthage was the first large-scale land battle of the Civil War. Happened 2 weeks before Bull Run, and basically it started about 8 miles north along the military road. It was the first battle where both sides knew they were going to meet, had large numbers of men, artillery, and employed strategy. They came down, the road came across the land. The Kendrick men were out in the fields, literally dropped their tools and ran as the cannons were coming. And it was commandeered by the Union on the day of the battle, used as a field hospital. They moved on out that night, and then the Confederates commandeered it and used it for about a week after that. But this is the original dining table, and it's also the operating table in the field hospital. And there's lots of blood evidence on it under UV. There's blood evidence all over it, down the legs, between boards. The family story, and it seems to hold up, is that they carried the dining table out the back door and started doing operations. And looking at the table under UV, it really measures up. This is the original Mr. and Mrs. Kendrick here.
Oh, okay.
William and Elizabeth. Several things happened during the Civil War here. At different times, the porch was set on fire, and they had to pull it away from the house with horses. There was a time that Confederate bushwhackers came, and they lynched the slave woman because they thought she was harboring Union soldiers. And they took her and her 12-year-old daughter to the orchard out north and lynched her, tortured and raped the 12-year-old and left her for dead. The family nursed her back to health. That was Rose, and she stayed with the family, later married a man, George, and they worked for the family and stayed here until they died in their 90s, in the 1940s. And later when they couldn't do manual labor, their jobs became unlocking and locking up all the buildings and houses on the property, and we still have Rose's keys here. So.
Oh, okay.
And there is a lot of evidence that there was voodoo during the Civil War, which would have been typical, and it appears to have been used for protection for the women and children, because often they were here alone. And there does seem to be evidence of conjuring being present, and it seems to be protective of women and doesn't take kindly to men who are disrespectful or provoke. There does seem to be something else here that can be dark, seems to be more ancient, I think tied to the land, perhaps Native American, that also is tends to try to pull people in, and people experience time distortion, sense of desolation, have a hard time kind of getting back to themselves, that kind of thing. But I do think it's more something tied to the land than anything. And again, it's usually happens because someone invites it in. So there are shadow people here. We've caught them on video and stills. There are full-body apparitions that have been seen. Civil War soldiers, what appears to be a slave man in the slave cabin, a couple of different young girls, children playing in the backyard, a tall man standing out by the well, people, and these have been seen for decades by people who've lived in the area, had businesses in the area, etc. And so, pretty active. This was also, it was a sick house, community sick house, before there were doctors and hospitals here, so people got sick, they came here to be tended to and either got better or passed. midwives would meet women here to birth. They literally don't know how many people passed through. So you had people during the war, during the epidemics, plus just people getting sick. But this is the master bedroom, and then the children's room is over here. It's not unusual to come out, and they aren't today, but for curtains to be messed with up in the sill, like someone's pushing back to watch out. Sometimes putting little addresses on this bed, you come in and it's like someone's wadded it up. A few times they've actually been on the floor. The last two people known to have passed in the house, one was the last one was actually Jackie's little sister, Carol. There's a picture of her in the foyer downstairs. She was 2 years, 9 months, and they lived in another house on the property, and she became down ill. They brought her over here to her grandparents so her sister wouldn't get sick, called a doctor. She passed in 36 hours from polio. And she's very, very active here. You get her a lot. In 1899, her aunt, would have been her aunt, Pauline, passed, and she was 4 years old. And all we know is that she had a spinal condition and that she hadn't been able to play much. And she's been seen on the stairs as well as sitting at the windows. People outside have even said, you know, are there any children upstairs? I see a little girl, and you show them the picture and say, that's who I saw.
That's a neat house.
Yeah, and it's usually, I don't think we've ever been here where we didn't get something. Plus, you know, the shadow people, other light anomalies, people have seen apparitions, just disembodied voices. You will often, there's a woman here, you'll hear her calling for Tom. You don't know if it's a son or what, but you know, you'll hear her, she'll be, Tom, Tom, and you'll hear that audibly as well as the slave cabins out here are on the foundation of the original slave cabin. It was originally brick like the house, but it had been torn down at some point. So when it became a museum, they brought in, there's actually 2 slave cabins from about 40 miles from here, and then they ripped them together. And window here, the window here is usually different people have seen a black man standing there in a white puff shirt. Usually they'll describe it as having a tear, and it's like he's just staring off into the distance. We haven't really gotten EVPs out there, but we have caught harmonica music. There were various occupations during the war on both sides, and really the reason the house survived was the family were blacksmiths and gunsmiths, and they were too valuable to kill. There's a trap door over here in the parlor that they would hide. You want to just pull a couple boards out? It's kind of interesting because not only can you see how they hid, but also you see the main structure support of the house, which was typical of the time. Basically, there's 2 oak tree trunks. Then late in the war, General Joe Shelby used this as a staging area to try to retake Missouri for the Confederates. And this was his headquarters, and they actually housed the horses in the parlor. And in fact, there's hoof prints in the wood. The piano's kind of interesting. It does, at times, people hear notes being played. It's not original, but it's identical to the 2 that were here. I have been upstairs where I've heard it play, and you come down and know there isn't anyone here.
Teresa and Dawn, hanging out here at the Kendrick house. You had some action going on tonight. Explain what's going on.
The REM pod's going off. What was super cool was the REM pod was like going off and flashing blue, and I thought, well, maybe, you know, it's just a dying battery, whatever. I turned off the REM pod. It was in my hand, and it started playing music. Like, the light was flashing and it was playing music, which I have never seen that before. There was no power to it. I'd been holding it for like 2 minutes, and it was still going, so that was super cool. But other than that, though, the REM pods have been going off, which was awesome. Had some flashlight interaction over there. Hey, your flashlight went off.
Did it?
Yep, flashlight just went off. The blue one.
Can you touch one of those lights again?
There you go. The blue one is yes, the purple one is no. Yes. This one is yes. This one is no. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got it?
You got
Okay.
it?
No,
Were you
ma'am,
here
that's
during
all
the
we know.
Civil War time?
Yes. Ooh, that's a great one. Were you in the military? Were you a military officer or soldier?
No.
No. Are you still with us?
Yes. Let's try to use terminology from your time. Are you an Indian?
Yes.
Native American.
Native American. Native Americans? I suppose Missouri.
That
That's
one that
right,
like
though.
messes with people if they challenge it, didn't she say that they thought that was a Native American spirit?
Yeah. 'Cause there was
Yes.
like some. The K2 going on?
See it? No.
Kid too enough.
It's been
Nice job.
Oh, gotcha.
This is an active room.
It's a Midwestern Native American tribe of the Great Plains. They were Christians, originally named Nayukanska, people of the Middle Waters, it means. Yes. That's right.
It seemed to contradict its answers.
No, it was pretty consistent, saying that seemed to be a Native American. So then I looked it up to come to find out it is dominant in this
In
area.
this area.
So that was cool.
Anyone in the parlor? If I bring out a machine, will you talk to us on it? Okay, come talk to us on this. Can you tell me your name?
Can you tell me why you stay here?
I heard a couple
I
full
didn't hear
words,
it,
but
like,
until I tweak it out on the computer, I'm not really sure everything they said, nothing 100% clear. Let's go upstairs, we haven't done anything up there.
Yeah, let's do that.
My name is Joe. Can you tell me your name? If there's a piece of equipment, the tools that we have here that you don't like, you can turn them off.
How about this? Alright, we won't go in the kitchen. There's like 3 of them spread out around here. Just touch one of them.
I was just thinking, make that same meter go off, get a net, that's not as good in the kitchen. Okay, make that, stop doing that.
Oh, now you want to do something, huh? You in the kitchen?
Are you too afraid to answer? Can you just talk to me?
Step out a little bit, see if anything happens when no one's in here after that.
I know.
Hello, the ladies are in the house.
Hi.
Teresa missed that. You think you could touch that again? Pretty sad about that. Boy, oh boy, were you guys?
Hi.
Oh, hi there. There we go.
Thank you.
Can you make it go to red again?
Nice.
Yeah, Austin, is this you? Austin was the youngest Kendrick son. Passed in December 1861 during the war.
Hi. Maybe it is. How old was he, do you know?
He was 25.
Are you 25 years old? Was this your home?
That's pretty amazing.
Suddenly I got a whiff of smoke, but I hadn't smelled it before.
Yeah. Okay, you like that thing. Anyone hanging out here in the parlor? Did you guys ever have a secret hiding spot to hide from people? Whoa, listen to that thing go. Secret hiding spot to hide from people? Whoa, listen to that thing. Who's in there? Who's doing that?
You can follow us in here.
Okay, I smell cigarette too.
Did you?
Yeah, right here. It's very fast.
Yeah, that's how it was. It was just almost like someone just walked past me.
Yeah. You ever smoke cigars? I smell tobacco, like a pipe tobacco. It was like over here. And it wasn't that, because that's not even lit. I mean, it was real strong pipe smell.
Yeah, that's
It
what
was weird because I just asked, did you smoke? Yeah. It was weird.
So initially, when we were out there and you asked, you can touch one of us, I was just leaning there and I felt tapping on the left side of my head. Just once, I said they could do it again, but I didn't feel it again. And then just now, when you were explaining how that camera worked, I felt 2 or 3 taps in that same spot. So,
Well, maybe somebody's communicating with you.
very gentle taps. I can feel, it feels like my hair is moving.
Yeah.
And I do this, and my hair's not up, it's not in a clip,
Mm-hmm.
it's not falling down. It's just very light touch.
Yeah. Nothing evil.
No,
Just a
it
way
doesn't
to-
feel bad. We were just saying, it feels, this house has a great feeling.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah, I haven't noticed, I haven't felt anything threatening whatsoever. It feels warm in here,
It
not,
does.
not because of the temperature, it just feels like warm and inviting.
It
This
does,
is how.
despite its history.
Yes.
So it was, can somebody help this man?
Like up on the ceiling. I don't know if somebody else moved, but just like a minute ago.
What is that shadow?
Like up in the ceiling, it disturbed the blue light.
Okay, but now, if I walk, no?
It was a very fast, not so dark, went fast.
Well, she said it could be a lot of shadow play.
Yeah, I know, I saw it.
You didn't see anything, did you, Lisa? She's saying that blue light kind of got blocked out there. I don't know if you saw anything like that.
I didn't see anything at all. You get a lot of shadow play and things blocked out at times, so there's no telling what you might do.
Yeah, she noticed it, and I was like, and then so when I walked by that way, I'm like, no, we have to block it off, so. I don't know if you happened to look over and if you had seen that or not.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but we see it a lot in the hallway.
Hi, Trace. We just got back from the Kendrick house. How's it going?
This is good. A little delirious right now, a little tired, but
Yeah, it's about
Good.
3 in the morning.
yeah. That's AM.
Yeah. Hey.
No, it was fun. You know, we had some stuff going on, and hopefully we can get some evidence to kind of back it up.
And there's Dawn.
Oh, it was fun. I think I saw a shadow. I am thrilled that I heard the REM pod go off. When it was going off in her hand, and it sounded like music, that blew my mind. And it was off. But Austin, or whoever it was that was making the K2 go off,
Yep.
that was amazing because it was so consistent.
So what are you thinking there, Jill?
Well, that's pretty cool. We got some interaction, you know, different things going on with the K2, and it was really cool with the flashlight thing. I was really impressed with that. I personally have never done it before. A little sketchy on that, but since it kind of was, you know, doing in response to what we were asking it to do, and the yeses and nos, I thought that was pretty amazing. So Alex, just back from the Kendrick house. What do you think?
That was pretty good. Started out, thought it was going to be a pretty good night. We got the flashlights going, and the REM pod was alarming, and even though there was no power to it and lighting up, which I don't know how that happened, but so we had that. And then it was really quiet for a while, and then of course me and Joe went in there and did a little, it wasn't provoking, but it was kind of trying to get them agitated a little bit to do something. And we got the K2 meter going off by itself for no reason a couple times in the kitchen, like we were getting to it a little bit, so that was kind of fun. Yeah, overall I'd say it was a pretty good night. I enjoyed it.
It was pretty neat.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah. Okay, that's not what we did on
You should just leave it, Jill. Come on.
all my material.
What's up, Joe?
Hey.
Gator punch.
Punch. Yeah, it was pretty fun tonight. Like I said, it was really interesting when we first showed up, and then it kind of really got quiet when the REM pod was basically kind of playing a musical tune with it off. It's kind of, so I thought it might be more eventful than it turned out, but the evidence will show.